Bayer Leverkusen are having one of the best seasons in Bundesliga history. It almost feels like Leverkusen are actually playing real-life career mode. After selling Moussa Diaby, they signed Jonas Hoffman, the player with the most fantasy football points in Germany last year, Xhaka, who plays like Xabi Alonso did in midfield, Grimaldo, which is going to be one of the best free signings of all time, and last year's Europa League top scorer, Boniface. Every single signing fits straight into the role that Alonso had prepared for them in his tactic, and they'll all be massive parts of your next FIFA career mode save. After 16 games in the Bundesliga, Leverkusen currently have 13 wins and 0 losses, but the main reason for their success is actually in the dugout. Annoyingly, we can't actually choose Alonso as a real face manager in console FIFA, but on PC, you can create him and actually select him thanks to Cheat Engine. Leverkusen's success doesn't actually seem to be that much of a surprise. In a video last year, I talked about how Leverkusen have a new manager called Xabi Alonso, and they also had a team that was set up for the future. Back then, Hincapie, Tapsoba, Tah and Frimpong were all able to reach the mid-80s when they peaked in their potential. Now things are even better. So let's have a look at 3 of the key men in this Leverkusen side and talk about how they'll help you win more matches in your career mode save. I have no doubt that Florian Wirtz is going to be key to everything you do in your save. In this video, I'll avoid saying exact potentials in case that bothers you, but Wirtz has a potential to be higher rated than any member of any German national team that's ever been on FIFA. Even comparing him to the likes of prime Toni Kroos, Mesut Ozil and Bastian Schweinsteiger, Wirtz's potential is higher than any of their overalls ever were. It's not just Leverkusen that needs him though, the national team definitely does too. He does lack a little bit when it comes to finishing, but as long as you're only using him to create chances rather than finishing him, he's going to be your man for the entire career mode save. Wirtz might be the big name, but it's actually Grimaldo that's leading the attacking output this season. He's playing as a left mid now in a 3-5-2 formation, but Grimaldo is actually higher rated at attacking midfielder than he is playing a bit deeper as a left back. He's another creative player, just like Wirtz, but he's also capable of winning the ball back on defense. His work rates are high-low, which means he will track back, but only a little bit, so just make sure that your left centre-back is capable of winning one-on-ones. Thankfully, Tapsoba is exactly the player you want in this position. I'm sure you know all about these creative players because they do get a lot of attention, but someone you might not know too much about is Odilon Kosunu. He's a typical massive, rapid FIFA-style centre-back. He's fairly strong, he's very quick for a centre-back, and he's also quite good at defending. If you can get the training plans right on him, you'll be creating an absolute monster for that entire save that you play. As part of a back 3 with Tapsoba, who's a top-class ball-playing defender, and Jonathan Tah, who's more of a no-nonsense, head-every-single-ball kind defender, there's definitely room to improve all 3 of them, but all 3 of them do still have some potential to use. So at this point, you might be wondering, why should I ever use Leverkusen? They have a good squad already, and all I've said is how good the existing players are. Where's the fun when it comes to not making any signings in career mode? Well, I think there's definitely some areas that could improve, even if we're only talking about how they could improve inside FIFA. Xhaka is probably the most obvious. He's a new signing for Leverkusen, but on FIFA he's borderline unusable. If you are able to utilise a 40 pace deep lying playmaker, then he's the man for you, but I'd recommend you go for someone slightly quicker, even if they still need a little bit of time to develop. I understand this probably isn't the most realistic suggestion, but it's definitely one I'll make every single time I see someone using Leverkusen. You can say similar for his centre midfield partner Ezequiel Palacios. Palacios plays more like a defensive midfielder, with Xhaka playing a bit in front of him, but his potential doesn't excuse him having only 60 pace. He has a top quality set of playstyles for a defensive midfielder though. Intercept, anticipate and slide tackle will win you the ball back a bunch throughout the season, but you can do a realistic replacement with someone like Conor Gallagher, someone that Chelsea's definitely looking to offload. Not only does Conor Gallagher have the same intercept playstyle, but he also has relentless and much higher stamina. This will allow him to be more dynamic, playing as a box-to-box midfielder next to Xhaka, who you'll probably have to move a little bit deeper. He could actually just replace Xhaka instead if you prefer Palacios, but the Chelsea to Leverkusen transfer has happened in the past, with Ballack, Havertz, Schürrle and Hudson-Odoi all playing for both clubs, so why not add another one to that list? If you want to be fully realistic, you'll probably keep both around in the squad. Xhaka and Palacios are actually 2 of the 3 players in the Bundesliga who have the most touches of the ball. Everyone else in the top 10 is a defender. And just like when Xabi Alonso was a defensive midfielder for Real Madrid, Liverpool and Bayern Munich, everything goes through one of these 2 players. If you're not too fussed about signing someone like Conor Gallagher, that means you probably have bigger ambitions than I do, and Leverkusen have the transfer budget to keep you sorted. They do have a history for bringing through good players from smaller clubs and smaller leagues, with Son Heung-min being one of the best examples. Back on FIFA 13, just before they bought him, he was a 75 overall rated player playing for Hamburg and the Korean national team. This is the exact kind of profile that Leverkusen like to bring through. I think the closest I could find to someone matching the Son profile was Asta Vranckx. He's 73 overall, and he's playing for a slightly less prestigious on FIFA team in Wolfsburg. This is probably closer to the Michael Ballack signing back in 1999, who was an up-and-coming midfielder from a decent Bundesliga team, but Vranckx does still have a low overall, a lot of potential, and is playing for a national team. Leverkusen aren't afraid of spending big when they need to either. In the past 8 years, they've bought 8 players for over £20 million. But they don't really need to spend any more than this because the Leverkusen Academy is almost as good as FIFA makes every single career mode academy out to be. In the recent years, they've had Leroy Sané, Kai Havertz, Florian Wirtz and Malik Thor all come through, with Dominic Her, Kevin Campbell and Benjamin Heinrichs all also playing for their national teams after coming through the academy in the past 20 years. This actually makes things really easy, just spend as much money as you have spare on academy staff. It's actually fairly realistic for Leverkusen to generate a talent with over 85 potential nearly every single season. Basically, all the players at the club are already able to challenge Bayern, even if they're lower rated than the Bayern team is. If you play the same for 2 or 3 seasons, you'll notice that your squad slowly improves to be about the exact same level that Bayern's at, so to keep the revolution moving, you'll need to keep signing younger players with high potential. It might sound easy to do, but Leverkusen have been in a similar position to this before. There's a reason they're known as Neverkusen in England or Secondkusen in Germany. They've never managed to keep one of their 4 title leads halfway through the season. Leverkusen isn't a massive German city, it's about the same size as Hollywood inside Los Angeles or Cambridge inside the United Kingdom. If you're interested in playing just like Alonso, then keep watching because we're going to quickly talk about how to set up the tactics so that you can moneyball yourself the perfect player for every single position, just like they seem to do in real life. So by default, the 3-4-2-1 is exactly how Leverkusen have been lining up recently, but a few of the player instructions can be changed slightly to be more close to what Alonso prefers to play like. Boniface has no instructions by default, but really he should be on stay central and get in behind. It's hard to actually get Tapsoba involved in the play even though he has really good passing, so have a look at some of his instructions and see if you can either make him step up or find a way to make him play like a wide centre back so that he actually does get involved in the transition and then on attack. Beyond these 2 instructions, I think EA's actually done a really good job at replicating the style Leverkusen have gone with this year, and hopefully you'll really enjoy playing with Leverkusen too. If you're a fan of the club or know a lot about them and think I've got anything wrong in this video, please let us know in the comments because that will really help us make sure we have the best guide possible. But make sure you submit your saves with Leverkusen over on the Discord where I'll be rating some saves very soon. Make sure you check out the playlist and the video that's on screen right now. Consider subscribing if you want to see more like this, and thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers and goodbye.